Hello, everyone. So, now we will be discussing manufacturing operations. By the way, guys, maayo ko og pasensya gamay or in advance sa noise, no, because my brother is playing with the baking tin and it's very noisy here sa mong balay. So, dili man po nako siya pwede pungan sa ihang pagdula-dula. So, palihog na lang gid ko sa inyong pagsabot. Alang sa akong manghod nga gusto gid magdula og baking tin. Anyway, uh, like what I said, today or this recording will contain my discussion for manufacturing operations. So, previously we have discussed merchandising operations. So, again, from the very beginning, sa atong introduction, we have identified the forms of business organization according to their nature of operations, di ba? We have servicing, sa patauban, merchandising, manufacturing, napatay katong mga to hybrid companies, no? So, daghan. And kaning manufacturing operation is one of the most basic or kanang normal ra gid kaayo ninyo ma-observe nga form of business organization in the industry or yeah, so mo to siya, no. Ang kaning manufacturing operation ang iyang kalahian sa merchandising operation again is, di ba, for merchandising we are doing buy and sell. We buy merchandise and then we sell it for a higher price for profit, no. So for merchandise, for manufacturing, ang kani pud siya, guys, is that kuan siya, kita mismo ang make sa atoang merchandise or product, tapos kita dayon pod mismo ang mobaligya siguro to suppliers or to end consumers. So meaning for manufacturing operations there is a process, no, wherein the company will make their own products, finished goods nga ilang ibaligya. Katong buy and sell, nahuman naman to, naka-manufacture naman to. Ayha pa nimo siya gipalit tas sell at a profit. Okay, so for manufacturing operation, ang pinaka difference lang gid kaayo, distinguishing characteristic aning manufacturing operation is, again, we have manufacturing elements. So especially gid sa income statement mo gid na dira gid ninyo makita ang pinaka difference. So for manufacturing operations, we have to consider three elements man siguro. Okay, three elements. We have direct materials, direct labor, dayon manufacturing overhead. Okay. And these three can be subdivided ba? Can be classified into two. We have prime cost and then conversion cost. Okay, so prime cost is just this is just direct materials plus direct labor, while conversion cost is your direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. Okay, so unsa man ning direct materials? So may kalahian niya sa materials lang or naapod ba tay indirect materials? So ang materials, guys, we actually have indirect materials. So two classes of materials, direct and indirect for manufacturing process. For direct materials, these are materials that can be clearly seen or directly traced into your finished product. So for example, you are trying to make chairs, manufacturing chairs. So, ang imong direct materials ana syempre kahoy, lansang. Okay, so mo na siya imong direct materials. Unsa pa man, example we are manufacturing, unsa may ginakasagara gina-manufacture. For example, we manufacture water. So, I mean kanang water ba nga naa sa botelya ng water kanang sa na mga like for example distilled water. So unsa man imong direct materials ana? Syempre you have bottles, 'di ba? So kanang directly traced into the finished product mo na ang imuhang direct materials. Sa paman, you are trying to manufacture air conditioning units. So unsa man imuhang mga kuan diha? Unsa man imuhang mga direct materials. Anyway, di man ko kabalo sa mga parts sa kuano aircon. But syempre mao gyud na siya kung unsa na imong makita nga direct can be directly traceable into the finished products, that is your direct materials. For indirect materials, magamit gyapon siya sa imong pag-manufacture pero dili gid kay siya inana ka directly traceable sa imong finished product. How about direct labor? Again, labor used or kani siya is composed of your compensation for employees who are directly working in the manufacture of your finished product. Napod tay indirect labor, of course. So kani mga indirect labor, they are still in the manufacturing office or manufacturing company, but their job is not directly gyud involved dito sa um, manufacture of the product. So, for direct labor, siguro, example, you are trying to manufacture um, wooden chairs, lugar. So, katong mga gapanday mo na silang na ay direct, imuhang insa ni? I-appeal sa direct labor. Okay? So, um, how about manufacturing overhead? By the way, sa manufacturing overhead, uh, by the way, guys, ay sa manufacturing overhead, dira na nato maapil ang ato ang indirect materials. Indirect labor. By the way, correction lang sa kung gingon kanina ningon ko like for manufacture of chairs, no. The nails, lansang. Lansang is not actually direct material. Although directly traceable siya but dili gid siya inana ka dako ang iyang impact ba somehow. It's just kanang supporting lugar. Dili nimo siya madikit ang imuhang kahoy if there is no lansang. So pero ang main gyud nimo nga material which you purchase in large amounts, in material amounts, ang kahoy gyud. So that's why ang kahoy gyud ang imuhang i-count as direct materials. So inana siya. For indirect labor pod, siguro although they are in manufacturing company but their contribution is not directly related or kanang directly traceable into the finished product. So example, sa planta, you have plant managers, engineers, no? So inana siya inspection nga mga tawo ganang inspect nga mga tawo. So dili man gina direct ang ilahang kuan, ilahang unsa ni? Contribution sa pagbuhat sa imong finished product. So mo na siya. Dayon ako namang na-define ang prime cost and conversion cost. And one notable element po sa manufacturing operations is its different inventory accounts. So since when we manufacture product, it goes into different processes. So kung unsa pod nga mga process ang agian sa imuhang pag-manufacture sa products, naa po na siya separate inventory account. So for example, um first gud nga inventory account is of course sa iyahang raw materials inventory. So pagpalit nimo og raw materials, now you can raw materials inventory. Now when it goes into process, so nana po din kay work in process inventory. Hala, unsa man ang work in process? Basin ang uban karon pa nakadunggan na I hope not kay nag-ABM na di ba mo kasagaran sa inyo. So pag work in process gali meaning ang imong raw materials ni kuha na siya nag-run na siya didto sa process nimo sa pag-manufacture sa product. Okay, so perhaps kung naa kay kanang mga machine or equipment nga sila ang unsa ni kibali, sila ang mag-put up sa product ang mga machine nimo equipment. So ang imong raw materials imo na nang gisalang dito sa imong machine and equipment para maka-process na ka sa imong product. And then after the process is done, you will have your finished goods inventory. And then, of course, you have factory supplies inventory. Okay, so these are your different manufacturing inventory accounts. Now, let's go to the accounting. Kuan daw, for manufacturing operations, it has two accounting systems. We have cost system and non-cost system. For cost system, it's just like the perpetual inventory system that we have in your merchandising operations na topic. And for non-cost system, it's just like the periodic inventory system that we discussed during during the merchandising operations topic. Okay, so um let's discuss the most common transactions for manufacturing operations. Of course, purchase of raw materials. So I am using non-cost system. So this is just like the periodic inventory. So again pag periodic inventory, we need a physical count at the end of the period to know the ending inventory balances. But for periodic for perpetual, 'di ba it's compiled in a stock card. So every transaction, the cost of sales or the gross profit, they are readily available. So gaka-update gid siya every time na transaction that would affect your inventory and cost of sales, ma-update gid siya permi. Whereas sa periodic dili ba siya ka-update. That's why we need a physical count to update the balances of your inventory. Okay, so when we purchase raw materials on account, no, even raw materials, these are direct materials and indirect materials on accounts, di ba, we record direct materials. And then indirect materials. Dayon, accounts payable. So, normally, for manufacturing operations, they use voucher system. So, kani siyang accounts payable. Sometimes, vouchers payable ang iyang ginagamit. But, for simplicity, for this discussion lang, let's use accounts payable na lang sa para di mo maglibog. But for manufacturing operations, normally, they use vouchers payable. Okay, but it really depends on the policy of the company. Okay, so when there are returns from your purchases, so return effective materials to the vendor. So same lang gyapon ng entry. Makuha na tong accounts payable, and then we have purchase returns. And B, payment of account within discount period. So, same lang gihapon. Accounts payable katong nabili nimo nga amount nga less na siya sa returns. And then, purchase discount. Aya din ka cash. Okay, dayon 4. Freight in handling. So, freight in cash or cash or accounts payable ni siya depende kung sa imong term. Okay, so wala po siya. 5. Payroll. Kanilang guys, gusto na ko ni-explain sa inyo. So, when we record payroll for factory employees, guys, diba, again, we have, it could be direct or indirect labor. Ana. So, when you are a company, when you are a company, even when you are service or merchandise, no, dili lang ni siya sa manufacturing, guys. Most companies good, when you are a law-abiding owner, you usually pay for SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, for your employees, and these are called statutory benefits for employees, and all your regular employees are entitled to this: SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. So SSS, that is Social Security System. It is somehow kanang mura bitaw pension, like for example, when your employees retire, they will get something later, in their old age, they will get something na somehow a payback ba for everything, for all the years that they have worked sa imuhang company. So that is a lifetime gyud siya nga contribution, because kuan na siya kanang, even when I think na dili man po siguro lifetime, murag na may limit murag sa age kung kanus siya taman, basta kay when, even when you transfer jobs, transfer from company to another, from a company to another, that company should still pay continuously your SSS, except kung ang imong employment is not regular status. Okay? So, siguro kuan lang ka, contracts of service lang ka, dili ka regular employee, so dili ka entitled sa benefits, because these benefits are kuan gyud specified in the law: SSS, PhilHealth, o Pag-ibig. Now, for PhilHealth, again, kuan na siya kanang health insurance. So, if ever ma-hospital ka, you are entitled to PhilHealth packages depende sa imong sakit. Kung kung unsa ni, for example, di man ko kabalo kaayo sa mga packages sa PhilHealth. Basta kay depende sa imong sakit, ang PhilHealth kibali ang mobayad sa imong bills, no? So that's why important na siya nga contribution sa employer and employee. So we also have Pag-ibig. These Pag-ibig is somehow a housing benefit. So, when you have pag-ibig, you can get housing loans. Pag-ibig will pay the your house, for example, in a subdivision, kinahanglan gid ka na pag-ibig ana. So, pag-ibig fund will pay your house and ikaw na din mag-amortize or magtagi-tagi og bayad sa pag-ibig sa imuhang balay. So, inana na siya. So, pag-ibig, SSS, and PhilHealth. So, kana siya nga mga contribution, although statutory na siya nga contribution sa balaod, tunga na siya sa kuha na siya kanang naay part nga mo contribute si employer, napoy part nga mo contribute si employee. So, for SSS, murag dili ko sure na pod sa rates because naa na may new rates. But the last time that I checked, normally two-third gina si employer tas one-third dayon si employee ang iyang share. Dayon for PhilHealth, it depends na pod sila yung new rate karon. Sa una man gud kay 300 per month na siya for for self-employed individuals. Anyway, dili pa man yun kayo na ninyo kinahanglan mabalaan karo sa pagkakaroon. But later when you start computing for the payroll, kinahanglan na ninyo mabalaan. Then for pag-ibig, it's 100. So 50 for employer, 50 for employee. Karon, aha man akwaon ang share ni employer. Syempre, bayaran yun ni employer and it will form part of the employer's expense. How about kang employee? Ang kanang deduction, ang kanang statutory contribution ni employee, that will form part of their salary. So, madeduct na sa ilang salary. Okay, so instead nga, for example, 15,000 nilang salary, instead nga 15,000, kuha na siya PhilHealth, pag-ibig, o um, unsa to SSS. Then ang net na lang din nila 14,000. So example lang ha, 14,000. So dili gid buo nga 15,000 lang madawatan because of the benefits. So mo na siya. So for this one, payroll for factory employees, natay direct og indirect, and then kuhaan na nato siya og SSS contributions payable. Why payable? Because it's the employer who will remit the full amount. Pero gitunga lang na siya kay ang katungaan na gideduct sa sweldo ni employee, ang katunga pod ana gibayaran gyud ni employer. So that's why payable gyapon na siya ni employer as in full amount na siya, but this one ang atong i-record diri is employees share. So, employee share ni siya tanan. So, PhilHealth, sunod, pag-ibig, okay. Dayon, imo dayong cash. So, ang imo ang bayran nun, instead nga full amount siya for salaries, makuha din siya aning deductions nila. So, mo na dayon, more siya may mong balancing amount. Number 6, employer's expense. Payroll. Ani, pwede na siya SSS contributions expense. PhilHealth, pag-ibig, dayon, we have Okay, so ano na siya or pwede po nimo siya isahon og isa ka expense item which is employers payroll contributions or employers contributions, no? So pwede na nimo siya buhaton. Depende gina sa inyong policy sa company. Okay, so mo na siya dayon when you will now pay for your contributions as an employer. So ang imuhang buhaton is so many. Um, of course, SSS. Ano na siya, oh. Una, paintan, bayaran na nimo si um, SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. So, SSS. So, ang kanin siyang amount, contributions payable is the sum of this one and this one. That's why full amount ang imong ginabayad, you know. Although na contribution si employee because giminus naman ani mo pud sa iyahang sweldo. Dayon cash. So ano lang. So at least nataphawan na nato ang kuano payroll. Although daghan pa kay na siya kinahanglan buhaton guys for computation. Now accrual. When you say accrual gali meaning it's I mean when you say accrued payroll it means um kuan payable. So indirect labor. So ano na siya guys. Dayon kabalo naman mo how to record depreciation, repairs, um so on and so forth, no? So dali na lang na siya. So sayo na naman ni siya guys kani nga topic. So move on na lang ta sa mas important. Okay, so one distinguishing hala ka dili ni siya mo. Another distinguishing characteristic is like what I said in the beginning of this recording is lahi gyud ang income statement pod ni manufacturing operation because nana siya statement of goods, statement of cost of factored. Okay, uh, so this is actually this one is part of income statement, yani statement of cost of goods manufactured. So meaning sa income statement napo na siya sales part. So same naman gihapon ang sales. Ano siya, net sales. Kaya yung statement of cost of goods manufactured. So, of course, imo na then to incorporate tong three manufacturing elements that is direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. So, direct materials, una, you have raw materials, inventory, beginning. Okay, so add purchases. Less purchase returns and allowances. Dayon, purchase discount. So you have total purchases. I mean, net purchases. Dayon, i-add mo freight in. This becomes your raw materials available. Sale. So, ano na siya, no? There is here. Ano. Ito sana. Ito sana. Ito sana. So, meaning, ano. Ano. Dili na pod. Alin kay total. So, muna yung raw materials available for sale less raw materials inventory. And dili man. Okay, so ani pa din ni siya, guys. Dili na lang. Equals raw materials level 4 use. Stay na siya, guys. So, muna siya. Then, we have direct labor. So, before tamo adto mano. So, for manufacturing overhead, na diha indirect materials, indirect labor, depreciation. So, tanan-tanan nga, kani depreciation, kuha na ni siya. Depreciation specific to factory equipment. Ang dili factory, wala na siya diha sa manufacturing overhead. Ito na siya sa selling or administrative. Dayon, repairs and maintenance. Factory gihapon. So, diha na tanan, guys, tanan nga imong gigamit for your manufacturing process, dira na nimo butang kanang mga ginagmay lang. Nga dili mo sulod either sa direct materials or direct labor. Karon you will get your total dire. So, ano na siya. Napa na siya isumpay, guys, kaning mga manufacturing overhead ha, sample lang na siya. So, total manufacturing cost, add work in process beginning, . Ang mahitabo is you will get your cost of goods placed in process. Cost of goods placed in process. So we call it CGPIP. And then less WIP or work in process end. So sunod is you will get cost of goods manufactured. Okay, so that's how you will get your cost of goods manufactured. Dayon ato pa man din na siyang ipadayon. So this is just your statement of cost of goods manufactured taman dire. But if you want to get the cost of goods sold, i-add na po na nimo ang finished goods beginning. So FG beginning i-add, you will get your goods available for sale. Less FG and you will get your cost of so ano ni siya guys, pag dili na taman, it's statement of cost of goods manufactured. Kung dili gali taman, it's called cost COGS. Statement of COGS or statement of cost of goods sold. So ano na siya. So muna din to siya guys. Muna din ni ilahang pinaka-distinguishing characteristic yun. No, so let me save. Guys ha. So mao lang na siya guys because ang worksheet tanan-tanan naman gudayon katong same ra gyapon sa completing the cycle. Although nalay medyo ma-add ug medyo ma-complicate, but it's part of the things that you have to study. So I'll leave it up to you to study for the remaining topics nga wala na to na discuss. And if you have confusion, mga wala ka ninyo nasabtan, please do tell me and message me sa messenger. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. So short lang atong discussion for manufacturing operations since ang completing the cycle nga part is very kuan na siya kanang pareha na siya dito ba so magsige na tag balik-balik redundant na kaayo. So ay inyo lang siyang i-fit sa based sa nature of operations because if you already know the basic, I know kabalo na gyud pud mo diha sa merchandising ug manufacturing. You will just have to follow for katong sa basic nga formatting and basic nga mga kuan process. Anyway, again, thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope although short siya, you learned something. And for if you have confusions, please just message me sa group chat. Guys, sorry kay wala yun na ako naapas ug gahatag ang assignment within today. But hopefully ugma ako na siyang ma-post since medyo na busy gid mi light sa amuan na pong convention kato sa annual national convention ba for CPA. So kana pa among ginatiman but since mahuman na siya ugma, so hopefully I will really try my best to post it. Anyway, extend mo po na to ang deadline. Okay, so thank you so much guys. And please prepare for our quiz na lang next week. So I will entrust to you the studying and the practicing. All right, so thank you so much. Bye. Stay safe, everyone.